Welcome to Exploring Nevada. This is Gwen Clancy for the Nevada Department of Cultural Affairs. In this episode, we celebrate the breadth of cultural activity in our state by featuring the Governor's Arts Awards. For 25 years, the Nevada Arts Council and the Governor's Office have recognized outstanding and enduring contributions to the state through artistic achievement and service to the arts. On April 5, 2005, the University of Nevada, Reno hosted the silver anniversary of the Governor's Arts Awards. The ceremony honored this year's recipients and acknowledged the 184 individuals, organizations, and businesses who preceded them. With First Lady Dima Gwyn presiding, the ceremony featured performances by the UNR Faculty Jazz Ensemble, The Collective, and a young virtuoso, pianist Jiang Chen. Emma Sepulveda-Pulvirenti received this year's award for excellence in the arts for her work in poetry and photography and for her commitment to the creative process. We met with Emma at her office at the University of Nevada in Reno, where she is Foundation Professor of Foreign Languages and Literature. We spoke about the power of artistic expression in contemporary society.
11 de septiembre de 1973. Venceremos. Escuché a las 8. Venceremos, escuché otra vez a las 9, y a las 10, y a las 11, y a todas las horas del petrificado día. After, the voices lower, weakened, fallen, and the silence devoured the echo, 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 echo. Without me realizing, it became the sound of the bullets against the body of those who rose in opposition. I think coming from Latin America, and because I have sort of been a witness to so much history, so many political and social movements in Latin America since, very early on, I think being a writer and a witness of all that political reality has made me being a very committed writer to social and political changes. Now I see my art as a tool, not only to document the reality as I see it, but try to change the reality for other people and for myself. We moved to Chile from Argentina when I was 7 years old, and as a little immigrant child, I was lost. The countries are next to each other, but I was truly lost. My mother was from Argentina and my father from Chile. And as soon as I start writing in second, third grade, my mother always say, just keep a journal, write what you see every day and write how you feel every day. And I think I became a writer because of that. In school, I had just the most wonderful Spanish teacher. And she took me under her wings, and I started writing probably really, really bad poems. But she always encouraged me, and she sort of emphasized what my mother was always teaching, I think you should just document everything in writing. So that combination of mom telling me that you do life by writing, and this teacher telling me you can do a better life by writing, I think it was the combination that today I am who I am. I have continued to write in Spanish. I write 100% of my poetry in Spanish, and then somebody else translates my poetry. I can write narrative in English, and I can write my columns in English, but still Spanish is the language that I can express myself and my most deep thoughts and feelings. It was very difficult at the beginning to put images in the poetry, and it was almost impossible to write poetry for the images. They were two separate things. But when I started going back to Chile and I realized some of the political movements that were being created during the Pinochet era, it was impossible not to document with images what was happening. Traveling into the Patagonia areas, and I have been in Antarctica and many places that I think the environment is in danger. And I needed to document that with the written word. It's impossible for me to write a poem about what happened in Vietnam after that atrocious war and not document what is going to be the life of people in Vietnam and the environment of Vietnam with my photographs. As I get old, I want to become more and more committed to an artist that can change the world with the art. For me, art cannot exist in a vacuum. I think you have to create in order to make changes. And I hope I can do that more as I get old.
The award for excellence in folk arts went to Elizabeth Brady of Elko. Raised near Battle Mountain, Elizabeth has experienced dramatic changes in her lifetime, from her childhood residence in a Willow Shoshone shelter and years at an Indian boarding school, to traveling the nation to share her native culture as a teacher of her people's long-held ways. Today she is recognized for her mastery of traditional arts, including cradle boards she's woven from willows, braided rugs, beadwork, and buckskin work. We spoke with Elizabeth at her daughter's home in Elko.
By them boy wanna do the onesie ni one again hundungandu you wanna get the grind. What I'm singing about is the three little minnows as they're swimming. They're swimming under branches and up, and they're talking, and they're going. You know how minnows all bunch up. There's little songs that my great-grandfather used to sing. I could listen to somebody singing and I could pick it up because I know the words they're saying. I rode horses with my cradle board hanging onto the saddle horn. I did that, and I didn't know that cradle was really something that the kids needed, but my kids loved it. When they grew up, they were still dragging their little basket around and says, "Put me in my basket." I would put the kids in there and they'd fall right off to sleep.
She's known for her basket making. She's known as a storyteller. She's known also as a singer. She's the keeper of the Shoshone songs and also teaching the Shoshone language. And I'm Elizabeth's second oldest daughter, and I live here in Elko, and Mother has made the baskets for my children as well, and I consider myself now a basket maker, basically because I'm inspired by the work that she has done. I want to say that she's the most giving as far as culture is concerned.
This is a wild dogwood, and it doesn't grow along the river. You have to go up in the canyon, and where there's hills you could find these. And they're not always this straight. You have to look for it. Look among them and get the straight ones. By looking at this frame, nobody makes frame like this. Here, it's double. This is double here. A lot of our people don't make it like that. They just put single, and they just make one here to keep this from solid. I put two, and this is the way it looks in the back. It's solid. You can't break it. Right now, it's this time of the year to get willows, maybe already late.
Growing up in this community of Elko, I had the pleasure of crossing paths with Elizabeth Brady over the years. My mother had introduced me to Elizabeth, and it became very clear that she was a significant carrier of traditions and a very giving person. And I think that's one of the reasons that she has been given this award, is not only that she's an amazing craftsperson, her cradle boards are known throughout the region, but that she's a teacher as well.
At one time we did have a strap on these baskets where we pack them on our back, but we did away with that. things are getting too modern, but we still use cradle board. Once you start working with willows, you don't feel like quit.
The Arts and Education Award went this year to Paul Ford of Minden, who for 27 years has taught art at Carson High School, inspiring his students by setting an example with his own artistic achievements. Dedicated to excellence in the classroom, his students consistently rank high each year in the nationally sponsored Scholastic Arts Awards. We recently spent an afternoon with Paul and his students to discuss arts and education.
Spent a lot of time on this hand. First I did it with colored pencils, and I couldn't get it to look right. I couldn't get the correct skin tone and texture feeling. Mr. Ford gave me a few ideas, and then we decided to airbrush it just to give it a smooth look. Now, I'm not done yet, but I think it's got the right texture I want. It turned out really good.
He's not like other teachers, you know. He thinks what we do is right, you know. Like, art is art, you know. We're expressing our feelings on a piece of paper, and he knows that. And if we draw something, he'll say it's great because it's art, you know. Anything we do in here is great to him, and we appreciate that, you know. Him as a teacher, he's a great guy.
He's helped me a lot through everything because I came in here kind of unguided. Say I have a problem with painting or something and I don't know exactly how to get something done right, so he'll explain something to me and, like how to blend acrylics better.
He's always offering advice and he's always offering support, and he embellishes sometimes to keep us confident in our work. I mean, sometimes I don't feel like, wow, this isn't really one of the pieces I like, and before I go and throw it away, it's like, oh, I really like how you developed this, maybe you could work on this a little more. Actually, I just got accepted to the University of Cincinnati's Design, Architecture, and Planning program, and I hope to continue designing.
After 27 years of teaching here at Carson High, is that the core of it really means the creative opportunity for students, young people, to solve problems. In the art room, 2 and 2 doesn't equal 4. It has innumerable solutions. Being able to solve problems in unique ways, visually, certainly in the arts, but the transfer is to life. We have an ongoing gallery at the high school that's continually changing exhibitions. If you can think of the school as a large refrigerator and all your pictures went up, that's how my classroom is. Everybody's work goes up on the wall. Because everyone can succeed at different levels, everyone, it builds, I think, a mutual admiration to the point where art can really happen without being forced. It becomes a free, creative environment by offering young people success. My interest has been in embellishing the school community and the larger community, and making people aware, hopefully, that the young people that are here at the high school are fabulous, and you know what, they're going to be fabulous citizens in the future, and they're going to be the artists, of tomorrow. I feel very fortunate to have taught here for this length of time. It's kind of an art teacher's dream come true. The award is absolutely terrific. It's a fabulous way to not necessarily end a teaching career, but because I think I'll always want to be a teacher. I think that's the thing I really love to do. So I'll probably be back. It means it's just a great method of saying thank you, and that's about all I can say. It kind of tears me up a little bit. I didn't expect anything like this, and it's a wonderful surprise and a wonderful honor. If necessity is the mother of invention.
Churchill Arts Council in Fallon received the award for service to the arts, organizations, and individuals. In an age when many rural arts councils are closing their doors due to economic factors, the Churchill Arts Council, founded in 1986, continues to thrive and expand its offerings to the greater Northern Nevada community. It recently moved into a home of its own, the beloved Oates Park School, designed by noted architect Frederick de Longchamp, and now restored as a vigorous arts center.
Everybody who walks through that door is changed. Whether they walk in through the door of the theater or they walk into the gallery, they're going to be seeing something that they haven't seen before. And that's going to change the way they think. And that's scary for people sometimes, that thinking about things differently. But this is such a comfortable place. There is no right and wrong here. You can talk about different ideas. You can talk about the way art makes you think, the way art makes you feel, and you're going to be able to communicate that to somebody that's going to say, hey, you know, I think that also, or maybe I don't, but this is the reason why. And so that you'll walk out of the door at the end of the evening or at the end of the performance or the talk, thinking about those conversations and what it is that art, how art has made you think about your life differently.
This building means so much to people because they went to school here. I think there was a real concern when it closed for so many years that it was going to crumble and eventually be torn down. So I think